Hi. Good evening. Hope we're all well. Evening, Kelsey, Paul, Clary, Noxie. Hey, by gum. Nice night. Cracking. Hope everybody can hear me. Looking good. I always do, Clary. Thank you. Evening, Black Queen. I presume you can hear me because nobody said it's no sound, so we'll see how it goes. I'll give an update a bit later on as we go along, because I've had a call from the boy tonight. Evening, Bibby. Nice to see you. Nice. We've got sound from me, but I don't know if I've figured out how to get Bobby on. No idea. So I'll just have to go alone. If I can't get him on tomorrow night, I'll just carry on my own. But hopefully I've sorted it out. So you never know. We'll see how it goes. I'll go with the flow like I normally do. So laid back I could fall off my chair sometimes. So, what was I going to say now? If Tom comes in, I might be able to see him on the stream this time because I think I might have sorted that one out as well. So, we'll see. I have had a few looks this week. Don't know if anybody noticed, but I did upload some of Cheg's music last night or Friday night or Thursday night. I can't remember which night it was, but it's there on the channel in the playlist. Well, I forgot what the playlist's called, but it's in a playlist anyway. Cheg's music or something like that. And an hour of music, quite good. I quite enjoyed it. Quite enjoyed listening to it before I put it up. So there you go, a bit of his music. I just chat with him for 5 or 10 minutes this afternoon. Seems to be in good spirits. But there's one or two things happening, so I'll give that a bit later on, I suppose. Yeah, days to do are getting few, Noxie. Not long to go. We'll be some down into double digits for the days. Once the double digits come, then it'll just fly by. So there you go. It's I've got my wrong glasses on. Oh, I've got another pair here. Look. There you go. Well, I can read it now. I was trying to see what the is that half a melon? I was trying to see what Bibby had put up with Kels, and it looks like a half a melon, but I don't know. I can't get my head around these emoji things. I don't even know how to put them up, to tell you the truth. But there you go. That's what it is. Anyway, they've had a bit of a. I'll find it in a minute because I've got it on. I've got it on Google. Loudham Grange prison officer needed hospital treatment on the 24th. So they had to send in the boys again to sort it out, and the officer was treated in the hospital. So they've basically locked him down again. So they've got even less time out of the cells. And he says it doesn't look like he's going to get transferred because he keeps putting in for a transfer because he's category C, but they keep telling him there's lots of category C's before you. because apparently there's about 100 Category C prisoners in Loudham Grange. Don't know why they can't move them all to York, because there's 1,500 places there. No, saying that, it could be moving all the bloody idiots, really. That could be the reason why they're not moving them. You never know. I don't really know. I know somebody tried to attack one of the other inmates, and one of the prison officers got in the way and he got injured instead of the prisoner. They should just let them kick the shit out of each other. Yeah, so there's not enough staff. I don't know if any of them's come back to Loudham Grange that walked out, but I think 50% of the staff walked out on the last. I'm going to take this out. I don't need it. There's nobody talking to me, is there? So I don't know how many prison officers there are now, whether any of them has returned or whatever. But if you recall from last week when I spoke about it, 50% of the staff had legged it. Tom, I can actually see you in the stream now. I thought I'd sorted it. So there you go. I might be able to hear Bobby tomorrow night then, if I've sorted that. So hopefully you're having a good day, Tom. It's red hot here, mate. It's the sun's cracking the pavement as I speak. I can see all the cracks. It looks like the tectonic plates have come apart. Yeah, I couldn't be a prison officer, really. I'm too nice. I just tell them to kick the shit out of each other and then walk in afterwards, pick up the pieces. But then that's me. So, folks, I finally got rid of my car. Now I'm carless. Carless. That could be my second name, Paul Carless. But there you go. It's had my last visit to hospital last night. Went in the old hamburger to get scanned. Fell asleep. They had to wake me up. They couldn't understand how I could go to sleep in that bloody noisy environment. I could go to sleep anywhere. It didn't make any difference to me. Just close my eyes and I'm gone. So that's out the way. That's done. Hopefully they might be able to find out what my problem is and get it bloody sorted. So the only thing I've got left to do with my I need to go and get a bus pass. That's what I need. Just need to find the closest library so I can go and get a bus pass. And then I'm sorted. So, hope anybody been doing anything over the weekend, or I presume a few of you watched the Ben fight last night. I think it was last night. I didn't watch it, but I saw it on the news. It's not my thing. I remember watching his dad, Ben's dad, the truck driver guy. I remember watching him fight back in the day. I don't know when he did fight, but I remember it. Well, I remember both fights because he had two fights with the other guy. I remember them both, but I didn't watch last night. I saw on the news who'd won, and unfortunately, the one who won, I was hoping would lose. Yeah, Kelsey, apparently all libraries in Hull do bus passes. I've just got to find one that's fairly close. I don't know if there is one fairly close, but hopefully they do. Noxie, they don't. The thing they don't do is you can't apply online for a bus pass. I don't know why. You can apply for everything bloody else, but you can't apply for a bus pass online. You've got to go in and take in your ID and your proof of where you hang out and all that kind of shit. And then they take a photograph. So I'll have to have a shave and all that kind. I might even go and get my hair cut. I might not, but I might. And get myself sorted out so I get a decent photograph, because I'm not the best at photographs. So that's the last thing I need to do. I've sorted everything else out. I've sorted out my online shopping. That's quite easy peasy, lemon squeezy stuff. And if I'm short of stuff, I just use Deliveroo. So, yeah, I watched the football yesterday. Who did I watch yesterday? I watched Newcastle. And I watched, who else did I watch? Everton, I think it was. Everton at lunchtime, Newcastle afterwards. But yeah. Yeah, well, I suppose, Tom, all fights are historic. I don't know. I didn't, like I say, I didn't watch it. It's not my cup of tea. Isn't boxing? It was when I was young, but it's not now. It's I've grown up, I think. Bit contentious, that, isn't it? I've grown up. I didn't mean how it sounded, really, but there you go. All right, taxi tokens. I don't think you get offered taxi tokens now. It's I got a taxi. Well, I phoned up to get a taxi, and so I needed to be at the hospital last night for 6:30. So I thought, right, I'll phone up and order a cab for 5:30. So I phoned this company up, and he said, "What's your telephone number?" I said, "I don't bloody know." He said, "Well, your number's on hidden." I said, "Well, I don't give it to anybody." "Oh, well, I can't order you a cab without you giving me your telephone number." I said, "Well, you can fuck up then, because you are having it," and put the phone down. So I went on my other mobile phone and I phoned for a cab, and that was sorted. Got that. So I'd left an hour to get from where I live to the hospital, and basically it can't be more than, if I'd have gone in the car, it'd have taken me 15 minutes at the most. However, when we got to the area where the hospital is, Hull City had been playing, and the roads were absolutely jam-packed. It was just stood still. So, good job I'd got an hour to get to the hospital with. I got to the hospital with 5 minutes to spare. So it shows you how bad the bloody roads were. Roads are bad in Hull as it is, but all the chupping football traffic made it even worse. So, evening, Dion. Nice to see you. But yeah, so I got to the hospital with 5 minutes to spare. So I walked in, given me a bit of paper, and went straight in. I thought, oh, this is good. Man, I was in the scanner, I think, for 40 minutes. Don't know, really. I didn't get home till 8 o'clock. But I don't have any more, I don't think. unless they find something that they need to remove. They didn't check my head, so they won't be needing, they won't be needing to remove anything there. Well, they can't because there's knack all in it. Yeah, brains were dynamite. I wouldn't have enough to blow the top of my chupping head off. Yeah, I don't fancy a mobile scooter, I can tell you. My brother, who lives in the next block, he's got one. And I couldn't be sitting on one of them. I'd look a twat, quite honestly. So, bus will be fine. The bus stops at the end of the road. So, well, once an hour I would get a bus. Benidorm. Do you know, Clary, I've never been to Benidorm, I can honestly say. I've been to Spain a few times, but never Benidorm. More down Malaga way, that way. And I can't remember the posh place. Place where Levi used to hang out. Yeah, imagine the road rage on a scooter. Yeah, I'd be locked up, me, if I had a bloody scooter, quite honestly. I don't know what's wrong with me dicky boat tonight, because it ain't looking right. There you go, that looks a bit better. Yeah, so scooter's out the question, I think. If I wanted a scooter, I could just go and borrow my brother's, but I don't think it'd float my boat. Marbella. Is it Marbella? Is that the posh place, Tom? Marbella? That's where all the money people live. Because if that's where the money people live, that's where Levi lived for 4 or 5 years. You could be right, because my sister used to live in Spain, and she used to live just down the road from Marbella. But yeah. Evening, Sharon. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the places down that area. I used to have, back in the 70s, I used to own one of these, don't know what you call them, flats or apartments or whatever you call the bloody things, in Fungarola. But it didn't float me, but I didn't like it that much, so I got shut. Yeah, I've just had a nice call as well, Sharon. Well, about an hour ago. He seems on top form. He didn't have a lot to say, except he was locked up a lot longer than he has been for the last few weeks. Porta Panis, that doesn't ring a bell, I'm afraid. Is it Benidorm where we're on about? I'm not quite sure whether that's the right place. Tell you the truth, it doesn't sound the right place. I'll have a look, see if I can find. Yeah, he's working on his tan. You know how to get a tan when you're in jail, don't you? Where's the bloody map? Oh, piss off. I want a far end of a fart, don't they? Piss off. You'll have to forgive me because I'm just on another screen, just licking. Yeah, that could be it then. Benidorm could be the one. Now I look at the map. Oh, God. No, it's not. It's not Benidorm. I'll tell you where it is. Not Marbella. Is it Marbella? Yeah, Marbella. That's the one. It's not Benidorm, it's Marbella. I knew I hadn't been to Benidorm. But yeah, looking at the map, and I said I had an apartment in Fungarola. Well, it wasn't actually in Fungarola, it was in Torremolinos. Now I look at the map. And then like I say, it didn't float my boat, didn't. What do we want the swear box for, Clary? Did I swear? Surely not. I've got nobody to swear at. Well, I might have done now I think about it. I thought I'd got over this swearing thing. But there you go. Looks like I haven't. It's got so bad that I don't even realise I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm trying to get the map a bit bigger because I can remember going to that port. And I'll just get the map a little bit bigger so that I can see, because as far as I can remember, when Levi lived over there, he used to do one of the I don't know what you call them, discos or whatever you call them over there. I call them a disco, but he used to do one down that area. Can't get the map big enough to see, but yeah, I remember going there a couple of times and sitting on watching all the big yachts and all that kind of stuff, and having lunch. Well, it wasn't bloody cheap, but yeah. So Tom lived in Marbella. Was it Marbella? Did I say? Let's see again. Benidorm? No, is it Benidorm? I don't bloody know. Wherever, anyway. Marbella. Yeah. 1.5 years. I think Levi lived there for 3 years. I think. I'm not quite sure, but I think he did. So, Paul, you've got double vision. Is that because you fell off the ladders? I did notice it a little bit earlier in the chat. Lineker's Bar. No idea. Yeah. Well, like I say, my sister used to live just outside Benidorm. She'd lived in Spain for about 25, 30 years. Now she's come back home now, or she's come back to the UK. She lives in Black Queen country. Same place. Yeah. I'm looking at the map. I've got the map bigger, and I'm trying to see if I can see places that I can remember. But it's a long time since I've been there, so lots of places won't resonate with me at all. But I do remember the big ships and all that, because they all had big helicopter pads on them and all that kind of stuff. Must be nice to have money. Money's no object. Well, it is, but it isn't for them, is it? There you go. That's a walk. That's a walk around Benidorm. That's the best I can do. I'm looking at the map and I can't see anywhere that rings a bell. If I saw some of the nightlife places, it might ring a bell with me. I didn't used to use them, but I know Levi used to use them, or not use them, but he used to play there, and he used to do what do you call it? He used to do boat parties, I think they were called, and I'm fairly certain they left from that marina place. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that that's, or it might be the other one, because there's another one. I can see another one. Might not have been the posh one. It might have been another one. But yeah, he used to do boat parties in the summer, and local radio, Kiss FM, I think, not Kiss FM. I can't really see. He used to do the radio on a Friday night, 8 till 10. Again, if you wanted to listen to that, that's on me. That's in my playlist. And it's in the playlist called Cheg's Music Legacy, and there's 35 videos on there, ranging from an hour to 2 hours, and they're all basically music. Well, quite a few of them are his members only lives that he did on his channel. So if you want a member, you won't have seen them, but they're there on his in the playlist Cheg's Music channel within my channel. Yeah, so there you go. So if you're interested in the music, I didn't used to be, but I am now. Why do I need to check my glasses, Larry? I have got two on. I've got one on my head here, which is long distance gear, and I've got these, which is short distance gear. I can read on the screen with these, and I can't with these. It just looks a bit of a mess. So that's why I've got two, because one's holding my hair back because my hair's getting a bit long and it's starting to drop. Looks a mess, but there you go. The only thing I remember, there you go. Kelsey's put a link up, look, for the playlist. There you go. If you want to listen to some music or listen to him live on his members only bits, that's where to go. They're all in there. Like I say, they range from an hour to 2 hours. So the only thing I can remember about the last time I was in Spain was it was overrun with what do you call them guys? Tiki-taki guys, or not tiki-taki guys. There's a name for them. Do you want to buy a watch? I don't know. Yes, Tom, he did. He did radio, and I can't remember the channel. It wasn't Kiss FM. It was oh, I don't know what it was because I can't remember. But everything he did on all his Lucky Men Dion, that's what I was thinking. The lucky men. Get on your bloody nerves. Yeah, because on his playlist, or in the playlist, there's 12 or 13 of his live programs or live radio he used to do when he was in Spain. So the music on those are a little bit further back in time, I suppose you call it. 2000 and maybe 2009 or maybe 2010. I'm not quite sure. And then, of course, his channel has got more up-to-date stuff, but there's still a lot of garage. I'm getting to be like a bloody DJ, for Christ's sake. Yeah, so the music's well worth listening to if you want something playing in the background, just whack it on and listen to it. It's all right. And that's big coming from me because, I'm a Roy Orbison person or Freddie Mercury, that kind of stuff. Not Dr. Dre and his nurse outfit or whatever they are. I don't know. That isn't my cup of tea. Do listen to them though. But there you go. I suppose you've got to do, haven't you? When you get to, you've got to listen to what the younger audience is listening to, I suppose. And when I say younger, I mean, Levi is half my age, so. And I presume the music nowadays is even different than when, the stuff he plays, I presume. But there you go. It's, I can't talk music because I don't know much about the music. Lucky men, yeah. It's I had a couple of years ago I gave up. I used to have a pet shop in Hull, and I gave it up a couple of years ago. But about 3 years ago, we used to get an influx of these lucky men hanging about. And no, it wasn't Magic FM. It wasn't Magic FM. I honestly can't remember. It was a local station anyway. So do you? Oh yeah, sell tat. That's all these lucky men sell is tat. I used to have to go outside and move them on. Bloody idiots. No, I don't think I'd do it nowadays because you might get chopped stabbed. So I'd have to start wearing a bloody, I nearly said string vest, but I didn't mean a string vest. I meant a stab vest. So what was the name of that bloody radio station? I'm just typing. I can't type that fast. Well, that's not come up with it. I don't know. Top radio stations. Oh. Reject. Heck off. Oh, well, I can't find it. somebody will tell me they'll listen to one of his music things, I presume. Lick FM, LICK FM. That was the one he was on. Lick FM every Friday night, 8 till 10. That's where he started to do his radio stuff. So it's quite good, actually. And of course, he's done some of his own music. That's out there as well. Trying to remember what it's called, but he has done some of his own music. Kelsey, yeah, you're a bit late, sweetheart. I've said it already. I found out for myself. Lick FM. Yeah. So, and I think he did an album. I think it was called Driving Through the Night or something like that, or it might have been Loving Green. That seems to ring a bell. Green. But yeah. Anyway, it's in the playlist. I can't see it in there, but so let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so there's 12 music videos of him, members only stuff, and some of his lives on his channel, and then there's 22 of him being live in Lick FM. So there's a lot of music there. If you're into music, or if you're into garage and all that kind of stuff. Not that I know what garage is. I just presume it's that stuff where you bang your head against the wall. I don't really know. Yes, Tom. I think he cut his teeth, really, if that's the right word, on the chatter, because the radio helped him to I don't know what you say. The radio helped him to get over talking to, not talking to a disco type area, but talking to people who are like his channel, that type of thing, where people are listening and he could talk to them. Whereas in a disco or in a nightclub, because they're not discos now, are they? They're bloody nightclubs. You're talking to all sorts of people. You're only talking to a captive audience. Whereas on the radio, you're talking to a wider audience. So I presume that's where he cut his teeth on that. He didn't cut his teeth on the nightclub scene in Marbella, because he used to do, even when he was young, he used to do music in Brid quite a lot. In fact, saying that, his brother does exactly the same thing nowadays, what he did when he was young. So it must be a talent for music type thing. And it certainly hasn't come down my line because I'm not musically inclined. as such. I like listening to stuff, but I'm not, not saying that. I've stood in for the DJ at the pubs I've had, where the DJ's gone on sick or something, and we've had nobody in, so I've had to get up and do it. But again, it's a taste thing, isn't it? You can only play what I like. If somebody shouts at me, "Can you play this?" Well, I won't have heard it, so I don't bother. But there you go. Yeah, but my taste in music is not that. My taste in music is really, really a broad church, because I like classical music, and I like stuff from back in the day, 60s, 70s. Not into the 80s that much, but 60s and 70s. Well, even 50s. There's some music in the 50s that I used to listen to. It was quite good. I could name a couple of names, but nobody had a bloody heard of them. I remember my second wife, we were driving through France, going down to see my sister in Spain, and she'd put on the radio, one of these tape deck things. She stuck in the radio Hot Chocolate, and that's all I heard. All I heard as I drove through France was this tape of Hot Chocolate singing. So anyway, she dropped off. As we're driving along, she dropped off. So I pulled the tape out and chucked it out the sunroof. And got rid. When she woke up, she said, "Oh, music's gone off." I said, "Yeah, it has. Yeah, I don't know what's happened." I knew what had happened. I'd thrown it out the bloody roof. Out the sunroof. It was miles back. I didn't have to listen to Hot Chocolate anymore. It's all right listening to them, but if you're listening to them for like, hours, it gets a bit much, doesn't it? It did for me anyway. I lost my rag, chucked it out, it had gone. So that's what I thought of that music. I'm trying to remember one of the songs, what it was that used to get me goat. I think it might have been something like "I Believe in Miracles," but I might be wrong. Like I say, it's not a thing I like. Not from my era. I'm more Buddy Holly and Slim Whitman and stuff, stuff like that. I'm more into that kind of music-y stuff. Apart from Queen and Freddie, the newer stuff I'm not into. Now, saying that, I used to like David Bowie back in the day when he was David Bowie. Then he changed his name to Ziggy Stardust, I think it was, and then he changed his name to something else, and then he changed it back to David Bowie. He was like a bloody changeling, kept changing stuff. So he changed his music. His music, when he first started off, was, I could quite get into. And then he changed his bloody name, and I couldn't, oh God, I can't listen to that. So, yeah, change your name, change your music. Sometimes for the good and sometimes for the bad. I don't really know, but some of it was a bit crap. Those were the days when you had to listen to the bloody radio, aren't they? Or a cassette. No such thing as There's those round things, silver round things. Can't remember what they're called. CDs. It was you either listened to the radio, or you had a little tape deck. That's all you could listen to. And of course, if you didn't have any tapes, you were knick-knacked, weren't you? But again, back in the day, to listen to radio when I was really young, there was either the Light programme, and I can't remember, there was 2 BBC channels or radio channels, the Light programme and Home, I think it was called. And then, of course, you got Radio Caroline, that was out in the North Sea there, and Radio Luxembourg. So I used to listen to Radio Luxembourg a lot, and then what I would do is Radio Luxembourg would play the top 20 for the week, and I'd get one of the cassette tapes, and I'd tape the show of the top 20. And then a week later, when the top 20 came out, the new one come, I just overtaped the tape I had, because I only had one tape. So yeah, not into Rod Stewart. I think he's a bit of a, I don't know what you call it, but he's a bit of one. I can think of what I think of it, but I'm not going to say what it is, because people will say I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. So I'm not going to. And Jules Holland, well, I can honestly say I used to have to get up to go and turn the telly over when he came on. Try and remember what is the Hit Parade. That's what it was called, Tom. Yeah, the Hit Parade. I think it was. I'm trying to remember his name. What was the guy who went to BBC Radio? He started off on Radio Caroline. Tony Blackburn. He used to be on Radio Caroline, and he used to play the top 20. But I think they used to have to wait until Melody Maker came out so he could get the list of what was the top 20. Not quite sure, but I think that's how it worked. Because, of course, they were out 12 mile out into the North Sea on the East Coast there. Pirate radio, they used to call it. Yeah, some of his, Tom, some of his music is okay. But mind you saying that, I've listened to him lately, and his voice, I think, he's got a quite nice voice now. It's more like gravelly, but probably not the right word, gravelly. He's got a crooner type voice now. Yeah, Diddy Hamilton and Noel Edmonds. Yeah, I remember those as well. I don't think they were on pirate radio, quite honestly. I don't think they started up on pirate radio. But Tony Blackburn certainly did. He started off on pirate radio. I can remember it on a I used to listen to it on a Friday night. And then on a Sunday night, it used to be Radio Luxembourg, playing them, because they used to have a 2-hour music on a Sunday night. And that's the one I used to tape, so you could listen to it again, if you know what I mean. Yeah, those were the days when you had to bloody tape stuff. Couldn't afford to go and buy records or tapes, really. So I used to have to copy it from the radio, which was against the law, I think. Didn't really care. But if we were planning parties and stuff like that, all the lads, we'd all tape different music from the different, the different radio stations, so that we could play it when we had the party. Yeah. I won't be doing that, Tom. I can honestly say I'm not that interested in Rod Stewart. I'd rather poke my eyes out, quite honestly. That's not the right term, but I've got better things to do with my life. And besides that, I've got to sit and listen now to 2 hours of Levi on his channel, so I can pick out ones to download and upload to the music playlist. And of course, you've got to sit and listen to 2 hours of him on his channel, so that I can decide whether it's worth downloading, or because some of his lives weren't that. They want a lot of music on. It was just him interacting with different people. So, but I'm not knocking anybody's choice of music. We all have different tastes, and but saying that, I don't listen to a lot of music now. I do. I have one of those Google-y things. What do you call them little typey things? A Google Nest. That's it. I've got a Google Nest, and I go on to Classic FM and have that playing in the background on low music. So, because there's no headbanging stuff and there's no rat-a-tat-tat music. It's just laid back music as such. And it's not a case of listening to it. It's a case of just having it in the background. It's like, back in the day when you used to put your telly on and it was on like 24 hours a bloody day. Just in the background. You wouldn't be watching it. You'd just have it on. So that's what I do with my Google Nest. I just have it playing music in the background there. And I've got back into reading. I've just started another book that my brother-in-law passed down to me. I say I've just got back into it. I've only just picked it up this afternoon to start, and I thought, well, I won't start it today. I'll wait till tomorrow, and I'll go and sit out in the garden and get my sunglasses on and sit in the sun, get a bit of sun on my face, and see if I can stop taking these. See if I can stop taking these vitamin tablets I've got to take. So, yeah, Anonymous, he's still banged up for another 100 and something days. Not long. It's flying by. He's in Loudon Grange, which is down near Nottingham, where at the moment there's lots and lots of hassle and bother, and it's in the news every second day about dickheads trying to smash up the place. And Motown, I used to like Motown, Tom. I can honestly say that's not too bad, is it, Motown? reggae was a bit too much for me, I think, really. But Motown was all right because it was that kind of a laid back type music, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't bang 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 in your face, and you could understand what they were saying or singing or whatever. Whereas nowadays it's fairly difficult to get the gist of what they're saying because they're using words that some words they use I've never heard of. So, you know, all these acronyms I've got, I just don't know what they are. LOL, you know, yeah, laugh out loud, but it could mean anything, couldn't it, really? LOL. But yeah, there's loads of, you know, people use all these acronyms, and I think, what, you know, what's the one I heard somebody on the telly the other afternoon, and he was on about somebody who, I think he was on about his dad or something like that, and he said, "Oh yeah, he's goat." You know, goat? What's goat's got to do with it? For Christ's sake! I presume, I presume that goat is an acronym for something. I don't know. I haven't bothered looking, but you know, there's loads. There's loads of acronyms out there that I have no idea what they are, and emojis are another thing. I've no idea. You know, you click on an emoji and you think, oh, that'll do, and then somebody gets on to you and say, what you put that for? Do you know what that means? Well, no, but it looks like what I want to say. Yeah, Anonymous. He'll be out soon. Less than 140 days. Towards the end of September. So it'll be going as soon as he comes out. I presume it won't be long before he's banging out his music again, going live. Well, there you go, mate. That's you know, he's a good lad, he's Chegs. I can honestly say. You know, I know he's my grandson, and I'm meant to say that, aren't I? Because he's my grandson. But he's a nice lad, and his heart's in the right place, and he sticks up for friends, which you know is good. So yeah. So there you go. Diana Ross and the Supremes. The Supremes, I don't know if I said it last week, but Diana Ross and the Supremes, when I was in Singapore in I think it was 1971 or something, and we used to go to the Hilton Hotel for breakfast, and so you know we'd go down into the town. We'd go to the Hilton Hotel first for a few jars in the thing because they used to have live music on, and I can recall that the Supremes was on for 3 nights. Yeah, so that's where I haven't seen many live acts. You know, it's a big regret in my life that I wasn't one for going to live acts, and you know, I regret it now, really, because I did have the chances to go. You know, people would say, "Oh, we're going to see so and so tonight. Are you coming?" Nah, I can't be doing. Can't do with that. But I do regret not going to see some of the live performances. So there you go. I'm trying to remember how many people I've seen live. I've seen the Supremes live, and when was it? I'm trying to remember. I went to London with my partner. Call her my partner. and it was her birthday, and so I bought a ticket to a show on Saturday night, and it was Aspects of Love, and we went to see that on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, I'd paid for us to go and see Cliff Richards at, I think it was Wembley or something like that. I can't remember exactly where it was. So I've seen Cliff Richards live, but who hasn't? Because he's like a chopping rash. He's everywhere. But yeah, he's 81 for Diana Ross. Yeah, she won 81 when I went back in the day, but she probably is now. Bit like, I'm telling a lie. I went to see. I've just remembered now. I went to see Neil Diamond in concert at Sheffield, because he's another of my back in the day music guys, but it was fairly old. I can't remember. It was in the, when would it have been? It was in the 80s, I think. I went to see him live in Sheffield. Quite enjoyed that. That was quite good. So when I've just sat here, 10 minutes or 15 minutes ago, say I've never, my regret in life had not been to see any live acts, and I've just blathered out 3 that I've actually seen. It's funny what comes back into your head, doesn't it? Really, just goes to show you that they haven't stuck in my head. But yeah, they were all right. I'll tell you what I did like though. I went to see Aspects of Love, and that was what's the actor's name who sings all the time? Michael Ball, is it? Is it Michael Ball? He was the lead person in Aspects of Love. So yeah, so I've seen 4 now. So there you go. Yeah, I've heard that Black Queen. I've heard that up at the open air place where you are. I've heard that they do have acts on occasionally. But saying that, when I was a lot younger, the Spa Royal Hall at Bridlington used to have all the acts of the day, and Rolling Stones coming straight into my head there. And that era of music, and they used to have live shows basically every 2 weeks when I was young. I didn't go to any, but they had them. I'm just trying to remember. There's another one I think I've seen when I think about it now, and it was in Scarborough, and it was the Swinging Blue Jeans. That's what it was. I went. My mum was mad on the Swinging Blue Jeans, and I was really, really young, and she asked me if I'd accompany her. And I did. I went to. I can't remember it wasn't the open air place in Scarborough. It was a big venue. Yeah, Perry Como could sing. He was a singer, wasn't he? Well, there were lots of good singers back in the day, wasn't there? Lots of good voices, but you could listen to. But Futurist, that's it. The Futurist. That was a big place that we went to. saying that, I didn't stay in the whole of the show because it wasn't my thing. I went down onto the front and went into the amusements and stuff like that. Because, of course, them days, you could go, you were safe to be young and free and wandering about. But, it wouldn't happen nowadays, would it? Nobody would allow the kids to go out. Knocked down now, is it? Oh, there you go then. Anyway, folks, just to go over what's been going on. Levi's on double lockdown at the moment because there was another riot or near riot in the jail he's at, Loudham Grange, and one of the members of staff had been hospitalised, and one of the inmates had tried to kick the shit out of another inmate and all that kind of stuff. So he's on double lockdown now. I think he said he's locked up 22 hours a day now. I might have missaid that, but I'm sure he said 22 hours a day. So, and he's come to the conclusion that he's not going to get moved to a Category C joint, which we was hoping it would, but it doesn't. He thinks he's not going to get moved, so he's resigned to the fact that he's going to be in Loudham Grange until the bitter end. Yeah. So anyway, folks, it's hours gone past. It's flown by, and I haven't really talked about how, as I've just blathered about bugger all. Quite honestly, Ronnie Scott's. Yeah, Ronnie Scott's. That rings a bell. I don't think I've been to Ronnie Scott's, but it does ring a bell. Anyway, so thanks for coming in, folks. I do enjoy your company. I enjoy reading the chat, and sometimes I can bounce off some of the chat, but you just have to excuse me because I'm just moving forward so I can read what this chat is. So, Kels, I presume you're going to block this Be Anonymous person, because if you're not, I will. Okay, so there you go, folks. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sitting and listening to a silly old bugger blather away about nout. And just remember, down below there, somewhere down below, there's a like button. Click the like if you've liked it. If you don't like it, click that one. Don't make any difference. I won't be upset. Well done, Kels. I won't be upset if you don't like it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, am I? And if you haven't subscribed and you sat in the background, because there is a few sat in the background, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell and you'll see me again. I'm back on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Yeah, Tom, if he does get moved, it will be a nice surprise, but we're not banking on it now. So, yeah, folks, so I'll say live long and prosper, TTFN, and thanks for turning up, and thanks for listening, and have a good evening.